Hey there, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Reid and I'm a real estate agent in Cochrane, Alberta. And in this video, now that I'm back from Germany, we're gonna dive into what the Cochrane real estate market did in October and give you an outlook on how things are looking going into November and keep you informed on Cochrane's current real estate market and how it's performing compared to all the other communities surrounding Calgary. Let's dive into it. Continuing along the trend from last month, Cochrane's sales numbers have continued to drop. With only 68 new sales last month, Cochrane's now sitting at about 22% less sales this month over the year-to-date number. We still are a little bit lower than last year, but with about 4% down, but we are still seeing higher sales numbers than the 10-year trend. Now, this lack of new sales does have something to do with the lower inventory. However, we did see an increase in listings last month, where the listing numbers are actually up about 18% year over year. Now, a lot of those new listings really come down to the fact that there's been an influx of new build construction homes hitting the market with the newer phases of Greystone, the final phases of Presidents, and then some newer homes being built in Heartland and Fireside as well. So in the last few weeks, we've seen a bunch of listings come up that are new build homes that are not going to be ready for a few months. And so that is inflating those inventory numbers that you see here. The bulk of the inventory, though, however, still is remaining low, where our actual true inventory numbers, not the new listing numbers, but the inventory numbers is still down 12% over the previous year. And that's what's driving a lot of the price increases that we're seeing all across Calgary and the surrounding communities. Diving into those price increases, Cochrane's benchmark price, including all of the properties, has increased up to $539,900, which is about an increase of 1% over last month and 7% year over year. Now, 7% year over year seems high, but I'll tell you later on in the video why that's not so bad. The big driver for this increase in the total benchmark price is the increase in prices on Cochrane's condominium and apartment prices, and that has seen the largest increase by property type in Cochrane. So for those people looking to get into Cochrane in an investment side of things and buy a condo or an apartment, those prices are starting to really see an increase, being that Calgary is becoming very expensive to get into that investment market. And on the flip side, if you're looking to buy in and find an apartment, there's just not as many of those units available, and that's driving the price increase in that sector of the market as well. Looking specifically just at detached homes, the detached benchmark price followed the total benchmark price with a similar trend of 7% increase over last year. And that price has risen now to $636,000. Now, getting back to what I said earlier in the video, that 7% increase in prices in Cochrane may not be so bad, really boils down to the fact that all of the surrounding communities around Calgary, including Calgary, have all seen double-digit price increases by percentage over last year. So Cochrane being the only one sitting in single digits means for a buyer, this might be a really affordable place for you to buy. And in my opinion, you're closer to the mountains, closer to Recreation West, and you're still only 20 minutes from the western boundary of Calgary. I think it's a great purchase and a great place to raise a young family, great place to retire. It's quieter. The population is smaller than those other places, and it's rated as one of the safest places to live. So all of that coupled with the, saving yourself a few percentage points on price increase, I think Cochrane might be somewhere where you want to look at. To dive into those price increases a little bit more, Airdrie saw an 11% price increase in its detached home price over last year. Calgary has seen 12%, Okotoks at 10.5%, and Chestermere at 10%. So with all of these surrounding communities all seeing double-digit increases, buyers should really start looking at Cochrane because you're only 7% up, which is 3 to 4%, even 5% over Calgary, less of an increase. So your dollar is going to go further in Cochrane than it will in those surrounding communities. If all that's sounding good and you think Cochrane is a place where you might want to raise your family, might want to invest in, or might want to retire to, I'd love it if you reached out. My contact information is in the description of the video and in the pinned comment below, and I'd love to help you navigate your real estate search in Cochrane, Alberta. Thanks, and I'll catch you in next week's video.